Hey, I'm Will.
Hi, I'm Dee, and we're Twin Flames Reacts.
And today we're going to go into an area where she is going to have a meltdown because she does not like politics. But we said we were going to do some politics, so we're going to go on and check out. CNN has an on-air panic attack with Vivek flip script on the January 6th. A Fed inside job. Audience roars. So he's the Republican candidate running for president. He is second behind Trump. Trump's way ahead. He's more of a make America great again type guy. He's more on the Trump type of view. So of course everybody hates him. So we're going to see if he has anything to say and see what she thinks about it. So we'll see if we can get through this. Definitely leave a comment down below if you like seeing this type of material. If you don't, we won't do so much. But anyway, hit a thumbs up. And if you hit a thumbs up, you can definitely
hit that subscribe button, guys. Yeah. Make sure you do that. And I'm a little nervous about this one, I have to say. But
yeah, she has nothing about Vivek Ramaswamy. You ever even heard of him?
No.
Nope. Because we don't talk politics no more because we usually...
Butt heads.
It's the only thing we butt heads
massively. And so, I am not a very political person, and I'm not very much in the know on a lot of the political stuff because yeah.
But anyway,
I'm just ignorant to it.
Well, without further ado, let's get into this video and let's check it out. And this is Benny Johnson, so let's give him some credit. Let's go.
Alrighty, here we go. Is this the guy?
I think they're making fun of it. He's blowing up CNN.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Benny. Hey, just a second here. I need to do a quick call. 911. Yeah, hey, officer, I'd like to report a murder. Nope, not at the federal lockup with Hillary Clinton. No, not at Barack Obama's mansion in Martha's Vineyard. No, we're talking about a murder that happened live on CNN. Yeah, gonna need you to go right now. It's a bloodbath. Ladies and gentlemen, last night on CNN, Vivek Ramaswamy was asked about January 6th, saying it was an inside job by the feds, and hot damn, did it go down. Ladies and gentlemen, Vivek Ramaswamy quickly becoming one of the most important voices in America, says Brandon Straka. I could watch Vivek Ramaswamy throwing facts on CNN over and over again. Vivek Ramaswamy shuts down CNN. Abby Phillip as she tries to interrupt him for 3 minutes straight while he calls out the government for framing January 6ers. And on the establishment does not approve of this message. And on why didn't CNN allow Vivek to speak and immediately cut him off when he suggested that there have been so many federal agents at the Capitol ground. And on CNN won't let up on January 6th. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Cass saying this is flames. What happened yesterday and what was the setup? The setup was that during the last debate, Vivek Ramaswamy said that January 6th was an inside job. Have a listen.
3 of my other colleagues on this debate stage, all 3 of them have been licking Donald Trump's boots for years for money and endorsements. Ron DeSantis, you've been a great governor, but you would have never been one without actually begging Donald Trump for that endorsement.
And you attacked him in your book a year ago.
Same thing with Chris Christie as a lobbyist, begging them for COVID money for his special interests in New Jersey, prepping him for the debates last time around. These people are now Monday morning quarterbacking some decision he made. I think the real enemy is not Donald Trump. It's not even Joe Biden. It is the deep state that at least Donald Trump attempted to take on. And if you want somebody who's going to speak truth to power, then vote for somebody who's going to speak the truth to you. Why am I the only person on the stage, at least, who can say that January 6th now does look like it was an inside job? That the government lied to us for 20 years about Saudi Arabia.
Listen to that applause line. Okay, so on stage during a CNN town hall, Vivek was asked, what do you think about January 6th? Vivek Ramaswamy spars with Abby Phillip over January 6th at town hall. Now, here we go. The thing that CNN will not allow is truth on their network, and so they interrupted Vivek every time he tried to make a point.
I ain't seen this, but I bet you every time he talks, the woman's going to overtalk him and interrupt him. Same thing they did to Trump.
Okay, for those of us who are not in the know, please let us know, what was January 6th?
January 6th was when Trump had the big giant rally with 1 million people showed up and they stormed the Capitol.
Okay.
And then they didn't release any of the footage. They showed all this stuff that they wanted, but didn't release all the footage. So then when the real footage came out and they put all these they put grandmas in prison for years. They put regular people who did nothing wrong in prison for 20 years for shaking a fence. They said that they were violent. They killed people. They killed absolutely no one. The only one that died was Trump supporters. It really came out. And the thing, nobody died. No Capitol Police were died. There were some injuries, but nobody was murdered by any Trump supporters. That is true, and it's facts, and you can look it up. Then they also finally showed the footage where they were shooting rubber bullets and gas into a peaceful crowd to get them riled up, to get them going. They provocatored them. There was agents.
Who did that?
The actual Capitol Police were shown shooting bullets into the crowds.
Why?
So to get the crowd stirred up so that they get them pushed to the Capitol. Because that right
On
there,
whose order?
They were holding a hearing that day. They were going to actually hold an investigation into the election being stolen.
So who ordered it?
There was the Democrats, whoever is in, Nancy Pelosi, whoever. They hired these people. They set up the thing.
So they knew this was all going to go down.
They
and
knew
then
the rally was going to be
the cops to send it to shoot rubber bullets.
Certain cops, no, not just cops. These were DC police. It's different.
But they knew this invasion was going to happen.
No, they provocatored it, and they led them into there. And when the people got to there, they said they broke through the Capitol. But what really happened was the police opened the door. Regular people just walked in. They opened the red carpet, and they waved them in. And you can see it on film. They actually waved them in and gave them a tour. They unlocked them.
I don't recall seeing that on film.
Right, because you didn't say it. They just released the new house.
You just said you could see it.
Now you can. Before they didn't let you see the video.
So now they doctored up a video and just had people peacefully walking.
No. They didn't doctor up a video. Mike Johnson, the new leader of the House, released the actual videos. Over 2,000 hours of it. This ain't doctored video. This is real video of what happened that day. And
we know this because
it's actual video of what happened that day.
How do you know that's the actual video
because
from that day?
There was 40,000 cameras. Also, because I watched it that day and I remember watching it live. I remember what I saw live.
You watched it live?
Yes, I watched it live.
And you watched people peacefully walking in?
Yeah, I watched them let them in. I watched the QAnon shaman with the head thing. I watched him walk around.
Right. I can't say whether he did or didn't see
prayer
that.
with the police because he was trying to help get people out peacefully. Trust me, I watched it. I know what I'm talking about here. I watched all of it, and I watched all the lies and all the bull crap. And now they released all the footage. They actually had to let the QAnon shaman out, and because Tucker Carlson put the footage out and showed how they led them around. The police let them in. There was no all this stuff. Some people got out of line and did some stupid shit, yes. But they also had federal agents or undercover people who were wearing, they dressed up in MAGA uniforms saying, we need to storm the Capitol. We need to go and break the Capitol. And everybody was screaming that he was a Fed. His name was Ray Epps. So anyway, let's get back to this. You guys can look all this up and fact check me. I know what I'm talking about here.
You do realize that we have our little editing software we have.
This isn't editing software where you could edit something this big of an amount of people. They provocatored these people, and you're going to see what he says and shows you and tells you what's going on here. I know he is. I haven't seen it, but I know. Because I've already engrossed myself in this too much.
Nonetheless, he defeated soundly Abby Phillips, even while she was screaming, crying, seething, and sniping at him.
And you're going to see how nasty these people are.
About something that you said at the debate last week. You used the phrase inside job to describe what happened on January 6th. The next day, Capitol rioter Al.
Did you see this already?
No.
You just said you're going to see how people.
Because I've watched Trump on a CNN Town Hall, and all they do every time he speaks is interrupt the freaking guy. Don't let him speak. They're going to do the same shit to him.
The next day, Capitol rioter Alan Hostler.
Plus, I just read they said
highlighted your comments at his sentencing. He is going to prison for 11 years.
We still gotta get red on this.
Hostler threatened members of Congress.
How embarrassing that you're like reading this question off a note card. Like, do you not? There's no. I see no note cards for Vivek. You have to sit there and like have your giant prompts. How unbelievably unprepared, unprofessional, and unimpressive these people are.
Honestly, I disagree with what he's saying. She just wants to make sure she's saying what she wants to say.
She's supposed to be professional.
Some people need to read, need to have some kind of cheat sheet.
Not when you're a host like this.
I think that's a little. He's reaching there a little bit. I think he's just.
I don't think so.
Being a dickhead.
Unbelievably unprepared, unprofessional, and unimpressive these people are.
He brought a hatchet, knives, pepper spray, stun batons, tactical gear to the U.S. Capitol. Are you concerned that a convicted felon like that is now promoting your comments in court?
So here's my concern, Abby. And I want to tell you guys where I'm at. If you had told me it's close to 3 years ago that January 6, 2021 happened, if you had told me 3 years ago, back when I was a biotech CEO, not steeped in this world, I was just consuming passive media but was focused on my world of developing medicines. If you had told me that January 6 was in any way an inside job, the subject of government entrapment, I would have told you that was crazy talk. Fringe conspiracy theory nonsense. I can tell you now, having gone somewhat deep in this, it's not. I mean, the reality is this. We do have a government, first of all, we have to acknowledge, that has lied to us systematically over the last several years about the origin of COVID-19, about the Hunter Biden laptop that we were told was false by 51 CIA experts and otherwise before we now know that it was true. You can go straight down the list, the Trump-Russia disinformation collusion hoax, all of it. Now we come to January 6th. The reality is we know that there were federal law enforcement agents in that field. We don't know how many. I think it's shameful. If I may finish just answering.
Well, let me
this
just.
is really
I'm going to go ahead and interrupt you here because
I know this establishment doesn't approve of this message. I know
there were federal
we should be able to talk about this.
You're saying that there were federal agents.
This is important to talk about.
You are saying there were.
That is pretty ignorant. She won't let him speak his mind.
I know she
so
won't.
yeah, that kind of
It's on purpose. They don't want the truth out.
You're saying that there were federal agents.
This is important to talk about.
You are saying there were federal agents in the crowd on January 6th.
Yep.
There is no evidence that there were federal agents in the crowd on January 6th.
So why, before Congress, when pressed on what the number was, they didn't say there were none? They just couldn't say how many there were.
So you're saying that that you have not seen any evidence that there were, and so
we've seen multiple informants suggesting that there were. We know people were FBI informants who were asked.
Is there any evidence?
May I just finish this, and you can come back and question me.
Let me clarify.
It was very uncomfortable for you.
I'm going to clarify my question.
I know this is an uncomfortable issue for many people, but we have to do the truth here.
I'm going to clarify my question because I want to make sure that you understand what I'm asking.
I understand this deeply, and I told you I was with you 3 years ago. I'm not there now.
Where is the evidence?
Yes.
Where is the evidence that the government had a plot,
so let's do this.
an inside job,
but no, I'm going to tell you what an inside job is because I'm not
violence on January 6th?
I'm not going to let you put words in my mouth. I'm going to put my words in my mouth, and I'm going to tell you what I mean by that.
Where is the evidence that the government was
entrapment,
planning or executing January 6th?
So I'm going to give you hard facts, and if I may, Abby, I know this is going to be a little uncomfortable, but we're going to go through this, and you can push back on it after that. And you can push back on that, and let's do this fairly. Why did they suppress footage of now what's been released, 200 hours of footage of shooting rubber bullets into that crowd, shooting tear gas into that crowd? You didn't see that before. You saw what the response was to that. Now you see footage coming out of actually rolling out the red carpet for Capitol Police allowing people in.
Again,
right through the front door.
The vast majority of the footage
evidence should have been released before, Abby.
Mr. Ramaswamy, the vast majority of the footage shows police officers
I have to stop here. My blood is boiling. I'm sorry. I haven't had my coffee yet this morning. I have to stop here and just show you. This should have been the response. There's undercover body camera footage from federal police force. This is the Metropolitan Police Department here in the federal city of Washington, D.C. So this is the feds saying that people need to go into the Capitol. Help them up, help them out, help them get into the building.
They're not saying help them get into the building. They're saying help them up.
This is the evidence. All right? I love Vivek. This is the evidence. CNN's never played you this evidence. This evidence was revealed in court after the government was sued. An undercover officer encouraging violent and illegal behavior. Or at the very least, the kind of behavior that they
Come on, get on with it, dude.
That's why Nancy Pelosi said, I've been waiting for this, trespassing at the Capitol. Okay, anyway, back to it.
Overrun
and I want to talk about one more
by
case.
violent
this is really important.
Riders. That's
I'm going to give you some hard facts.
Of it shows.
So here's what entrapment is.
Cherry pick.
I'm not cherry picking. If I may finish, Abby. I'm not cherry picking.
Examples.
To the contrary. To the contrary. You know who cherry picked? You know who cherry picked? The government.
That is what happened.
The government cherry picked 12 hours of footage when there was 200 hours of footage. So cherry picking was the government, not me. Release the whole thing. And let me just finish one thing too, because this is super important as a topic.
So
I think this is a civil libertarian issue of our time. Gretchen Whitmer's kidnapping. I want to be really clear on this, because it's the same issue in the same FBI, same even part of the FBI. 3 people who were in an alleged plot to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer were acquitted at the end of trial because it was entrapment. That is, government agents put them up to do something they otherwise wouldn't have done. They gave them credit cards with spending limits of up to $5,000, encouraged them to buy munitions, planned something they weren't otherwise willing to plan. So much so, and I want people at home to know this, especially CNN viewers to know this, is that one of the jurors went to those defendants and apologized afterwards, gave him a hug, apologized, seeing what the government had put a poor guy up to who had to go to some Mexican restaurant across the street to get hot water. These people were exploited with credit cards up to $5,000, FBI agents, putting them up to a kidnapping plot that we were told was true but was entrapment. Same thing with the Capitol Police. People letting them in freely. Many of those people then being charged.
Ramaswamy, look.
The government cannot put you up to do something and then charge you for it. That's wrong.
I don't want to have to.
Wrong to the left or the right.
I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to interrupt you. I really don't. But I don't want you to mislead the audience here or
I'm
at
not.
home.
I don't want to have to interrupt you.
Mainstream media.
I don't have to interrupt you, but I will interrupt you. How about this clip of Nancy Pelosi saying it was an inside job?
That one of the debaters said it was an inside job. Is an inside job on the part of Donald Trump and his henchmen in the Congress of the United States.
They don't know what to do now that all their lies are coming collapsing down. Ladies and gentlemen, we asked Tucker Carlson on a recent space about his reporting from January 6th. He was the first guy through the wall to break the narrative on this. Tucker Carlson saying it became obvious to him that there was the preponderance of data to show that there were federal agents inside of the audience, the inability of our federal law enforcement officials to answer simple questions about this, and of course, the people who were in charge that day, Stephen Sund of the Capitol Hill Police, saying, yeah, the place was teeming with federal agents. Why did the people who were breaking windows, why did people have earpieces in the breach teams? Who were on those earpieces? Somebody explain that. Somebody, please, calmly, quietly, and quickly explain that to me. Ladies and gentlemen, Tucker Carlson, take us away.
Tucker, you were the first one out through the wall with tapes that had not been seen of January 6th. If you're speaking about government lies and you're speaking about half-truths or total fabrications told by the government, it seems like you are utterly vindicated now in your reporting based on the preponderance of evidence. I mean, I see that Jacob Chansley is listening in to this live. A good example of that is you completely retold the story of Jacob Chansley, right? Known as the MAGA shaman, Buffalo Horn guy, right? You completely flipped the script, broke the narrative on that. Your thoughts on, as the man with the first access, the first reporter to see the January 6th tapes, what are your thoughts on the leaks that have been coming out now?
Well, first, I loved your interview with Chansley, who is just, the people they tell us are the worst are often some of the sweetest and the best, and he's definitely in that category based on your interview with him, I thought. So thank you for that. But because everything is a total inversion, our heroes are actually like the worst people, and the most reviled are actually the kindest, of course. But yeah, I mean, I guess I feel vindicated. I've taken no pleasure in that. It's interesting though. It wasn't reporting that got me to that. It was instinct. I mean, and I will say my instincts, and I think all of our instincts are undefeated. Your instincts don't lie to you. Your instincts are not trying to sell you a product or spin you. Your instincts are only there to tell you the truth. So if you pay close attention to them, and if you figure out a system for pointing you in the right direction. My system is really simple. Whatever they're hysterical about is something they're lying about. Because why are they hysterical? If I'm not lying, I'm not.
I'm just. It's
too much for you.
It's not my thing, and I'm not really following it too much here. So.
Well, you were following. Well, we can stop it there. But you see how they interrupted him, and barely. She tried not to let him say any damn thing.
That was pretty ignorant of her.
Like,
she's trying to get her point across. She didn't want him to say
what she
knew he was going to say.
She's interviewing him and supposed to allow him to speak. That's the whole point. Now, you can actually look up the footage now of them allowing them to walk in and go through the police waving them through, knocking doors for them. It's all public to see now. Anybody can look it up. In fact, maybe we'll review that next time so you can actually see it live and see that. And you can watch the politicians say, there was people killed. They killed people. They killed Capitol Police. None of that happened. None of it happened. All lies, all bullcrap. The first person that died was Ashley Babbitt, an unarmed veteran who climbed through a window and was shot by the D.C. police and killed right there live on television. I watched it. Unarmed woman. And, of course, the guy got off. So that's just the reality of it. And then there was other people that were beaten by anyway. Point being is, anyway, I know she does not like this stuff, but we're gonna do more. We're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna watch something with Trump and watch her blow her lid. You guys might like that. But anyway, thanks for watching this long video.
Why would you put me through that?
Oh, because we said we were going to do politics, and we've done a bunch of videos, and this is the first one we're doing. I took you with Vivek because he speaks calmly, he doesn't freak out,
he did
and he
keep
doesn't
his cool.
insult.
I was very impressed about that.
He doesn't insult. He keeps his calm. He's very well spoken.
I think that people are very closed-minded when it comes to editing, and not you per se, but people. Where we can edit, you can change things, you can make things appear
but that's what they did.
Differently.
That's what the
than
government
they
did.
are.
They had 200 hours of footage and took 12 hours, and they edited it, and it made it look like there was a riot when there wasn't. When it was provocatored by the government, and it was set up to make them look like they were doing it, to stop the investigation into the theft of the election. And that totally had stopped Trump's movement and stopped the entire thing. That's why they did it. Point blank.
Your opinion.
Not my opinion. Facts. Look it up. Do some research. Don't believe anything the mainstream media tells you, because they're all full of crap. Just like they told you, 15 minutes to stop the curve, 15 days. We're going to stop 15 days, turn into 2 years. Oh, the
what?
To stop the curve of the virus, COVID-19. 2 weeks. And they told you this is safe and effective. If you take this vaccine, you will not get COVID. You can't get COVID. You can't spread it. Oh, wait a minute. We lied. You need a booster. Oh, you can spread it. I'm sorry. Oh, myocarditis. Heart attacks are blowing through the roof. Come on, people. Wake up. Anyway, if you like this video, leave a comment down below. And hit the thumbs up button. And
if you can hit that thumbs up button,
yeah,
you can hit that subscribe button.
We might lose 100 subscribers, but hey, it was worth it. Anyway, love you, Flamers. Putting flames out.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video, I hope.
If I'm still here.